The who's who of India Inc. at the World Economic Forum ahead of Budget Week in India. Many industry leaders are sounding bullish on the growth and investment prospects back home here. Our correspondent SWATI KHANDELWAL caught up with one such industrialist, NEERAJ Kanwar, the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Apollo TYRES.
Talking about economy, and I think here there's a lot of talk also on how do you invest in India, because it's a promising emerging country. Of course, and equally complex and challenging. However, the economy numbers that we see, or the growth and the growth rate one is talking about with the slowdown, do you see any investor sentiment subdue here, or you think people are still bullish and look at the medium and long-term story remaining intact as far as India is concerned? And because there's budget around the corner, what is it that you're looking out for in this budget from the government?
So I think India is a land of opportunity. We have gone through a slow growth last year. I think we bottomed out. I think this is now where we can only go up from here. Okay. The sentiment is pro-India, I must tell you. I've just heard a few Indian ministers who are talking about a lot of FDI coming in, which is a good sign, positive sign for all of us. And I think with the budget around the corner, we are hoping that there's a lot more happening as far as infrastructure funding is concerned. Building ports, highways is very, very critical for the economy growth. So I'm pretty bullish to see that FDI does come in.
And Wion SWATI KHANDELWAL also caught up with eminent industrialist Adi Godrej's son and executive chairman of Godrej Group's real estate development arm, Godrej Properties Limited. PIROJSHA Godrej speaks about the importance of the long-term plans instead of the short-term plans, aimed at reviving the spirits as far as the industry is concerned. He also speaks about the impact of climate change and the challenge when it comes to creating climate-friendly businesses.
Well, I have with me one of the top India Inc. voices, Mr. PIROJSHA Godrej, who's the chairman at Godrej Properties here in Davos at the World Economic Forum. PIROJSHA, great to have you on the show. Davos is all about climate change, and I think this is a great point everyone's recognized. We need to sort of participate to make sure our future generations are intact, their future is secured as we play a responsible role. Where do you see India playing a role here? And as a real estate big company, because you are somewhat partly blamed for the pollution that one looks at, how do you address that, and how do you sort of position India in this bigger cause that everyone's been talking about?
Great to be with you, first of all, Swati. I think there's no question that climate change is the defining issue of our times. I think it is an issue that is going to involve proactive steps by business, by government, not just in India but across the world. Certainly, I think India's role is highly critical because of our size, with a population of 1.3 billion people, because we're at still an early stage of development where as incomes rise, as people's expectations rise, there will be more pressure on resources coming out of India. But we also have a unique opportunity where a lot of our infrastructure, a lot of our capacity is being built for the first time.
Sure.
So we can use intelligent design, we can use the learnings we've had and the rest of the world has had over the past few decades to get it right the first time.
Sure.
Certainly, I think the real estate sector is a very important sector for this issue, because I think it is the sector that contributes to 40-50% of the entire energy use on the planet.
Sure.
Certainly at Godrej Properties, for example, as long as 10 years ago, we committed that every one of our projects would be a third-party certified green building. We think that is something that we hope over the long term makes business sense, but it is something that is quite dear to our heart at Godrej. I think we've been at the forefront in many ways on environmental issues, even from the time of my grandfather's generation. So It is something that is ingrained into the culture of the group. I think, again, a lot of the issues are not necessarily things that involve cost. A lot of them, particularly from a business perspective, can be about smart design that actually saves costs. So I think there are many win-win opportunities that will get created out of this. I think the green economy itself is going to be a big opportunity, and I hope India plays a major part in it.